Book 101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She's the founder of Power Soul Healing, soul empowerment coach, light language healer, divine channel, and of course, an author as well as speaker. No other than Miss Brigitta Visser.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Miss Brigitta. Book 101 review, and can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
No, I think you summarized that very, very well. Yes, I am an author, divine channel, empowerment coach, speaker. Yeah, you summed it up very well. Thank you.
Ye- And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Miss Brigitta. Thank you. So today let's talk about all your three books. Your three books span a geographic pilgrimage, spiritual awakening, and a deeply personal rebirth. What is the central unifying thread that connects Child of the Sun, becoming authentically me, and I'm so glad you left me?
Oh, well, the common theme is really about overcoming our trauma and not remaining in that victimhood. Um, because regardless of our experiences, Daniel, we can overcome and be victorious, so to speak. We're not here. Look, our experiences can be very challenging, they can be tough, and people suffer. But our suffering is meant to be a stepping stone to understanding our experiences and everything that we go through and turn them into strength. Yeah. And then when we look back, once we've healed and we look back on our experiences, we can say, you know what? I overcame this and I have, peeled back layers of conditioning because that's the thing, right? We get so conditioned and we have to live a certain way, be a certain way, act a certain way. And it's really, really about overcoming all our trauma and understanding that we we carry value and that we are meant to live a fulfilled life.
Indeed, so Miss Brigitta, the titles move from external journey to internal state
Mhm.
to defiant declaration. Does this reflect your own evolution? How did writing each book prepare for you the next?
To know it was, I started out with becoming authentically me, which was very, very raw and authentic, and I basically poured my heart out in that. But for me, writing has been very, very healing, and I put it out there not for me, but for other people, so that they also understand that that there is more to life than the 3D reality. But again, also that they that they are their own savior, and that they can overcome anything. But
Yes.
everything, you're right, everything comes from within. Yeah, we cultivate joy from within, love from within, everything from within, basically. But we live so much on the outer that we forget about the inner.
Yes. And Miss Brigitta, you write about enlightenment, the luminous soul, and the self love. How do you define enlightenment or awakening in the context of a modern everyday life beyond the mountaintop in India?
Daniel, sorry, you know what,
Oh,
my recording says it stopped. I need to
y-
reload the side.
no, just go ahead. I will fix it later. I will do I will do the editing. I can fix it.
Are
Okay?
you sure, so I don't need to refresh it?
No, just go ahead.
Oh, okay, sorry, so you need to
No
repeat the
worries.
question.
So you write a book, Enlightenment and Luminous Soul and Self-Love. How do you
Yes.
define enlightenment or awakening in the context of a modern everyday life beyond the mountaintop in India?
Enlightenment and awakening, well, you only yeah, Look, I'm still learning every single day, but awakening is more about becoming aware. And when I say when we become aware of everything that we do, everything that goes on. So rather than having our mindful, we become mindful of everything that we do. But even I was going on this roller coaster and not understanding my experiences. And every time I would, I was like a little donkey. So I would get them repackaged and I had to learn it again and again and again. And it was really repetitive until this light bulb switched on. And I was like, hey, you know what? Actually, I need to work on myself. Yeah. And that's the healing and returning to that love for ourselves, which is really hard. My dad always used to say when I was a kid, he's like, look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself. Um, Me and my sister would just look at him like, what? Um, and so many, many years later, and through many, many traumatic experiences, I now understand that. And every time we peel back a layer of the hurt, the pain, and the suffering, and we heal that, we become a little bit more enlightened.
Let's talk about on the Child of the Sun and
Yes.
Road to Enlightenment in India. In the Child of the Sun, what was the most profound unlearning or dismantling of the Western mindset that India demanded of you?
Oh, meditation and breath work, for sure. Very, very powerful. And I still meditate every morning and every evening. That was very, very profound for me. Um, and that is also the main theme of the book, besides all the channeling and other um, aspects in there. But it's really about India and meditation and breath work. Really important, by the way, Daniel, because when we talk about the breath, people breathe very shallow, right? They breathe pretty much up to here, rather than breathing very deeply all the way to the root chakra and then back up to the crown. Um, But when we do that, we really oxygenate our cells and our whole meridian network. And meditation has the capacity to heal. And I think it's really, really powerful.
Miss Brigitta, travel memoirs often highlight a beautiful epiphanies. Can you share a moment of profound discomfort or confusion during your journey that each retrospect was a crucial catalyst for your growth?
Oh, you mean in Child of the Sun? Why did I go to India?
Yes, please.
Mm, I went to India. ah, okay, so throughout all my life, I have believed that regardless of what I've been through, it's like things don't happen to you, they happen for you, they happen for a reason. And so I went to India because I was feeling really, really stuck. It had to do with a relationship, but I needed to find myself. And I was working for Shell at the time, and somebody said to me, Brigitta, go and visit India, go to the Art of Living Center. And I just went. And it was tough. I mean, it was tough, especially the Sudarshan Kriya, which is it is a meditation, but it's breath work. And I remember it was really hard on me sitting there for like nearly 2 hours doing the breath work, and my hands turned to claws. And that was just because, as the teacher said, it was all about releasing a lot of trauma at the time. So yeah.
The phrase en route to enlightenment, Miss Brigida, suggests a process, not a destination. What do you
Correct.
discover about a practice of seeking while you were physically on that journey?
I called it En route to enlightenment in India because that was, even though I had done work prior to that, that was really the start of it, the start of everything. Um, so that is, like I said, that taught me about meditation and breath work. And I had to go through a lot more traumatic experiences and a lot more healing. And I studied a lot more healing modalities after that. Um, So, En route to enlightenment in India was really the start of my enlightenment, of understanding why I went through certain things in life.
The unique spelling of becoming and soul being seems intentional. What are you asking the reader to pause and consider with that phrasing?
Which one are you talking about?
The becoming and soul being.
You mean becoming authentically me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's all about it's all about becoming, um, becoming and overcoming to recover the light and love within ourselves. And the only way that we're going to do that is by looking at ourselves in the mirror and taking responsibility for our lives, because it's so easy to deflect and say, you know what, but this person did this to me and this person did that to me. So what? What are you going to do about it? Yeah, it's looking inward. And that is just really important, taking accountability for our own lives. And yeah, that's why I say it's becoming authentically ourselves. So every time um, we heal up, and we shed a layer, just like, you know, like a skin sheds its skin. Um, we become more wholesome within ourselves.
What does the spark's inspiration feel like when it goes out, and what is the first, often tender step to relighting it? Mm.
Relating the spark of inspiration. Oh,
Yes.
well, you know, when our spark, when the spark within us becomes very dull, it's very hard to find our way back out. Yeah, my father always used to say, um, "There is light at the end of the tunnel, no matter how long that tunnel may be." Um, and even though I have suffered from what you would call depression, I never labeled it as such. I still kept going, but and burnout. But it's really just sitting. I used to sit in the stillness within myself and just meditate on it, or I used to go for a run. But I would never sit on the couch and remain in that slump, you know, in that victimhood. So it's really just about finding yourself, and it doesn't matter how you do that. And for me as well, I mean, you know, when I knew I needed a healing session, because counseling did not work for me, but I'm not going to knock that. um, it really helped me to see. And you know what, Daniel, there's no shame in seeking out help. I think it's really, really important. And counselors, or therapists, or healers, they're just tools in the toolbox. At the end of the day, you you have the tools within you, um, to light the spark of inspiration, you know, once again. So it's really, again, it's peeling back the layers of pain to
Mm.
uncover what, you know, what is, to uncover, oh, how do I put this? To uncover what needs to be healed. And for me, oh my gosh, I mean, I can go back years. And I didn't figure it out until much later in my life, that I had to go back all the way to my childhood to understand, hey, you know what? Why did I roll into such dysfunctional relationships? And it really stemmed from my childhood. So, yeah, sometimes you have to go back very, very far.
Miss Birgitta, in a world of curated social media and
Mm.
personas, what does authentically me actually look and feel like in a practice? How do we distinguish it from just being unconventional?
I hate social media. I just, I just, you know, let me just tell you why. But even though I do go on there, but it's simply, you know, I go on there because I just want to inspire and empower people. You know, just putting some words of wisdom out there. What people do with it is entirely up to them. Um, but the reason I'm not a big fan of social media, and I write about it in my books, and especially in Child with the Sun, is that people start comparing themselves to others. Yeah, but maybe I need to look like this, or, you know, but they've got this, and but why don't I have this? And it sometimes people just spiral. They really do. And there's so much online bullying as well. And I don't understand all of this. It's alien to me now. So again, I'm not a big fan. The only person that you can be is you. I always say to people, always be you. You can't be anybody else but you. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, so Miss Brigida, what are your short-term and long-term goals as an author?
Sorry, say that again.
What are your short-term and long-term goals as an author?
Oh, well, I've got another collaboration book coming out at the end of the month, Divine Rebirth, where I talk about a very narcissistic relationship that I got out of 1.5 years ago. And I kicked out my ex after 3 weeks because he was in Spain with me for 3 weeks and he destroyed my home. He was very abusive. He thought he had a chip implanted in his head. He had like 10 distinct voices telling him how to live his life. He was self-medicating, um, just a lot of things. And yeah, I mean, I kicked him out and I had to really put on my big girl pants because it was tough. I went through hell because my home was not mine anymore. I was just living, breathing, and working in my study. And I went on a sacred plant journey. So I did ayahuasca and I did psilocybin and San Pedro cactus, and that helped me heal a lot and understand a lot as well. And the beauty about it was, Daniel, I was able to shut the door for good. I was able to shut that door and throw away the key. Because this person had been on and off in my life for about 20 years. And then I've got another one coming out in February, Miracles Are Normal collaboration. And there's another one that comes out, but I don't know when that is. It might be March. And then I'm working on my third solo book, which is more about consciousness and manifestation. But it's also where I delve back into like the corporate world because I've been in the corporate world for quite some years, and I'm planning to get out of it this year. But even last year, I worked 16 months, and when I was at my mom's last year, December, I pretty much kind of collapsed, and she really took care of me. And so, I've come to the realization that there is more to life than just the corporate, and it's really about following our passions. Um, and it took me a long time to realize that, as in, I did the corporate and then I tried to do spiritual work, but it's time for me to really follow my passions, and that is really to write more, to do more of my light language healings, more podcasts, and see where it goes.
Good luck to your goals, Miss Brigida, and
Thanks.
looking forward for more success. And
Yes.
what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be an author like you?
If you want to be an author, a lot of people say, I want to be an author, and then they don't sit down and write. But the beauty about writing is that it's very, very healing. And it seems a daunting task. I mean, when I started, I was like, oh my gosh. And but these days I just break it down. It doesn't matter if you do half an hour a day or an hour a day. Yeah, it's just that you need to be consistent. If you have an idea in your head and you don't know how to start, then just start somewhere. Does it matter if it's in the middle of the book? No, it doesn't. But start somewhere.
Start somewhere, people. And thank you for that advice, Miss Brigida. On I'm so glad you left me 88 stories. The title is powerful reframe of a heartbreak. Was there a specific moment when the narrative shifted for you from why did you leave me? And I'm so glad you left me.
There are many different stories in there. I'm so glad you left me. It's not just about relationships, um, but in my case it was. But it's also that others have overcome certain trials and tribulations in their life. So it could be anything. Um, and it's really, yeah, it is powerful. I'm so glad you left me, because you leave that trauma behind and you overcome something, and you become more wholesome within yourself. And when I say you become more wholesome within yourself, it's more that your soul is more aligned within your body.
More aligned for sure.
Yeah.
And the of the 88 stories, is there one that you consider the quietest or quiet, most subtle, and yet represents the monumental internal shift in your courage and self-love?
Oh, one story in there. I haven't read them all, to be honest with you.
Hmm. So the let's say the book turns a classic story of loss into a foundation for growth. How did writing these stories help you transform personal grief to universal medicine for others?
It's as again I said, when you write, it's very healing, because you write it away from yourself, and you just hope that when other people read like a collaboration story, that it helps them, that it makes them reflect within themselves, and that they think, you know what, hey, if she can do it, I can do this too.
Definitely, yes. Ms. Brigitta, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my Abstract Casa is already in fifth season.
Ooh.
Abstract Poetry in second season. My Book 101 review coming sixth season this year. Comedy 101 in third season, and my Food 101 in sixth season as well. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101 review, Music 101 in fourth season. Science 101 and Sex 101 in its third season, and my baby podcast, Mental Health 101. Law 101, Bible Verses 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and the newest podcast of mine, Motivation 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Brigida, having completed this transformative trilogy, what does your soul feel called to explore or share next? What is the becoming look like from there?
Whoa, it's a process. It's a process, but like I said, um, I'm really going to be focusing more on my writing, empowering, inspiring other people, doing my light language healing, and just shifting my focus from the corporate into the spiritual, because it's time now. It really is time now.
Yes, it's time to shine, Miss Brigida. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom through your books. So, can you please invite our listeners to support all your books, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah, do you want me to advise you of my website?
Yes, please.
So people can find me on powersoulhealing.com, on Instagram under Universal Light Warriors, YouTube under Power Soul Healing, and then I have my regular Facebook page.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Birgitta Visser, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering books like this to rise. So, one more question, Miss Brigitta.
Mhm.
Looking back at the person who set out for India, the person who wrote about authenticity, and the person who declared, I'm glad you left me, do you see three different women or one woman at different volumes?
Yeah, I mean, I've changed so much since becoming authentically me. Um, and I'm so glad you left me, and then Child of the Sun. I've changed so much. Um, yeah, it's been a beautiful journey. That's all I can say. And I'm still evolving, and I'm still learning. Yeah, through my experiences. So yeah, I think life, all in all, is still a beautiful ride, regardless of the challenges we may go through.
Yes, Miss Brigitta, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Daniel.
Modicum people, see you soon.